Welcome, everybody. You know, you would think that after all these years of licking Vladimir Putin's boots, Donald Trump would have earned himself a little bit of respect, but you would be wrong. Once again, we see that Putin owns Trump like an obedient little lackey. And this time he expressed that by making him sit by the phone like a desperate intern waiting for a callback for an hour while Putin sat on stage laughing. Trump called Putin, I guess, to push for a ceasefire in Ukraine. Big, important call, girthy, powerful phone call, stakes very high. But Putin seemingly could not care less. And instead of taking Donald Trump's call on time, he was schmoozing with his Russian oligarch buddies and cracking jokes and making it clear he's not really in any rush. At one point, and we're going to watch this here, Putin's event host checks his watch and reminds Putin, Peskov is telling us that Trump is waiting. And what does Vladimir Putin do? He laughs and he waves it off like, I'll get to that when I feel like it. Okay, this is, of course, in Russian. It's subtitled for those who are watching.
Заявлением Дмитрия Сергеевича Пескова ваш разговор должен до 18 часов состояться с Дональдом Трампом. Не знаю, насколько он... Работа такая. Ну, не знаю, сейчас надо посмотреть, что на эту фразу скажет Трамп. Может быть, он любит интервью давать, может, уже Трампа не упоминал. Не-не-не, он узнает, что у нас дискуссии.
An hour later, Putin finally saunters over and takes Trump's phone call. Just imagine that for a moment. The former leader of the free world waiting like the beta male they claim to despise for his Russian master to grant him an audience. And it doesn't stop there once we got to the phone call and to the subject matter. Trump wanted a full ceasefire in Ukraine, not because he cares about the substance, but because he wants to claim victory. What did he get? A partial one, maybe, on Vladimir Putin's terms. Putin agreed to stop hitting Ukraine's energy grid for now, but an actual ceasefire was rejected. And on top of that, Putin demanded Trump cut off military aid to Ukraine. After keeping him waiting for an hour, Putin tells Trump, stop helping Ukraine to defend itself. Now, the White House conveniently did not include that little detail in the readout of the call, but the Kremlin did, because they know that they have the upper hand. This is embarrassing. This is absolutely humiliating. Putin is running circles around Trump. Trump spent years defending Putin, calling him a strong leader, bending over backwards to the extent that Trump is able to bend over to appease him. And what he gets in return is a big, steaming pile of humiliation. And Trump is so desperate for a deal that he has already signaled that he's open to recognizing Crimea as being Russian territory. He's talking about divvying up Ukraine's land and power plants like he's negotiating a real estate deal instead of standing up for a sovereign democracy or not, which appears to be the case. And this is what Trump does. He idolizes strong men like Putin, thinking that he's one of them, except he's not, because every single time that he actually interacts with them, they own him. They make him wait. They dictate the terms. They play him like a fool. Remember Kim Jong-un? Trump came away from the Kim Jong-un meeting saying, look at all of these concessions I got from Kim. And of course, anyone who knows history knows that these are the exact same faux concessions that North Korean leaders have made in the past. They never follow through. They never stick to them. And the maybe sickest tragedy of it all, or irony, depending on your perspective, is that while MAGA is obsessed with Trump being the alpha male and projecting strength and all of it, he just got dunked on again by the actual strong man that they claim to be, that they claim to fear. But will they care is the question. Of course not. They will spin this. Trump is playing 4D chess. Putin doesn't even get why Trump tricking him into making Trump wait for an hour. He got played like a fiddle. Trump's got him right where he wants him. And of course, it never is the case. Now, in this context of sort of bizarre, confusing authoritarianism, we're increasingly asking the question, what would it take for Americans to really get out and protest in the streets? And that is what I want to talk about.
I love exploring new countries. If you follow me on Instagram, you see me in Italy or France or Denmark, Spain. I do speak English and Spanish fluently, but if I'm going somewhere where there is a different language spoken, I turn to an app called Babbel. Our sponsor, Babbel, is the app that can help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. I'm busy running a business. My daughter is running around. So Babbel's bite-sized 10-minute lessons are just perfect for me. I can do it on the go, do it during a lunch break. It's only a little bit of a time commitment each time, and you end up with a surprising level of comfort with the language after just a few weeks, which was perfect before my recent trip to Italy. Studies from Yale, Michigan State University, and others continue to prove Babbel is better and Babbel is faster. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a semester at college in a language class. Here's a special limited time deal for my audience. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for my audience at babbel.com/Pacman. Rules and restrictions may apply. The link is in the description.